For 60 years they shared the same roof, the same table, the same quiet mornings and long stormy nights. Yet the moments they regretted most were not the loud fights, but the silent ones where pride won and love lost. The early years were full of promises, dreams whispered in small rooms, and plans that stretched further than their pockets. But they believed time would always wait, that love would fix itself, that tomorrow would be kinder than today. They didn't realize that the small mistakes, unspoken apologies, assumptions, stubborn silence, were seeds that grew slowly, invisibly, until one day they were too tall to ignore. And now, sitting beside each other in a house that felt larger than it used to, they wished someone had warned them sooner. Love doesn't collapse in a single moment. It fades through the choices we don't correct. They once believed love meant enduring rather than understanding, holding on rather than growing together. The first mistake was assuming that staying silent kept peace. Years passed with words buried inside, disappointment swallowed, feelings ignored. Moments when one reached out and the other turned away because they thought time would heal what they refused to tell. Came out. The second mistake was choosing ego over empathy, defending their own hurt instead of seeing the pain across the room. There were days when a simple "I'm sorry" could have saved a week of distance, days when a gentle touch could have softened anger. But they waited for the other to make the first move. The third mistake was forgetting to keep choosing each other. They stopped laughing the way they once did, stopped dreaming together, stopped saying thank you for the ordinary sacrifices that quietly built their life. Love didn't disappear. It simply became routine, a habit practiced without gratitude. Only later did they realize that affection must be renewed, not assumed. The fourth mistake came slowly. They lived beside each other instead of with each other. The years of work, responsibility, and survival pulled them into separate worlds under the same roof. They thought providing was enough, but presence mattered more than effort unshared. They rarely asked, "Are you happy?" or "What do you need from me?" because they believed they already knew. The final mistake was waiting too long to change. It wasn't until age softened their anger and time thinned their defenses that they finally spoke openly about everything they avoided for decades. Fears, regrets, dreams that never happened, love that still remained beneath the scars. And in those fragile conversations, they discovered the truth they wished they'd learned earlier. Love lasts not because two people stay together, but because they keep learning, apologizing, forgiving, growing, and beginning again, every day. Before regret arrives with the years, there was another truth they learned far too late. Love weakens when gratitude is delayed. In the rush of years, they forgot to celebrate the small moments that once meant everything. The morning tea shared in silence, the tired smile after a long day, the quiet support during difficult seasons, all of it slowly became invisible. They assumed the other already knew they were appreciated, that love didn't need to be spoken because it had been proven through years of sacrifice. But unspoken appreciation slowly turned into quiet disappointment, and quiet disappointment turned into distance. They didn't realize how deeply a single sentence, "I'm proud of you," "I'm grateful for you," "I still choose you," could heal the tired heart of someone who only wanted to feel seen. Now, in the calm softness of old age, they look back and understand that love doesn't fade because people stop feeling. It fades because people stop expressing what they still feel. And if they could speak to every couple walking the road they once walked, they would say, never wait for the perfect moment to appreciate each other. Say it now. Show it now. Because the moments you save today become the memories you won't regret tomorrow. There was another realization that arrived slowly. Like a quiet echo from the past, love weakens when people stop showing up for each other in the moments that matter most. Not the big days, not the celebrations or milestones, But the ordinary evenings, the quiet struggles, the unseen tears hidden behind tight smiles. They spent years believing presence meant simply being in the same place, sharing the same walls, the same responsibilities. But real presence is deeper. It is listening when the heart is speaking softly, noticing the change in someone's eyes before the words find their way out, staying close when the world feels heavy even if nothing is being said aloud. There were days when one of them felt lonely in the middle of togetherness, sitting at the same table, walking through the same routines, yet feeling unseen. They never intended to hurt each other, but distraction replaced attention, routine replaced curiosity, and familiarity replaced wonder. They forgot that love must stay awake, must remain aware, must keep asking, "How are you really feeling?" They thought comfort meant silence, but silence slowly became distance. And distance, when ignored, turns into regret. They realized that one of their greatest mistakes was assuming the other would always understand without explanation. They hid their fears to appear strong, carried burdens quietly because they didn't want to worry each other, and suppressed emotions because they believed endurance was love. But love is not endurance alone. It is honesty shared gently, vulnerability trusted fully, and weakness allowed without shame. They spent too many years pretending to be unbreakable, and in that pretense, they broke parts of their connection. There were dreams they never spoke about, places they wanted to see, conversations they wished they had. But life kept them busy, and busyness slowly erased pieces of who they were meant to become together. They postponed joy, postponed intimacy, postponed tenderness, promising themselves there would be time later. Later, they learned, is one of the most dangerous illusions in love, because later does not always arrive the way the heart expects. Sometimes it arrives with age, with silence, with memories instead of moments. They remember the times when forgiveness came too late. Arguments stretched longer than they should have. Days passed in cold silence when a single step forward could have healed everything. They protected their pride more fiercely than their love, and only in the calmness of old age did they understand that every unresolved moment left a small crack behind. Those cracks did not break the relationship at once. They gathered slowly, quietly, until tenderness had to fight its way through them. And yet, through all the mistakes, they also discovered something deeply human. Love never truly disappears. It simply hides when it is not cared for. Beneath the unspoken regrets, beneath the years of distance and silence, there was still a soft and enduring warmth, a fragile thread that never broke completely. When they finally began to talk, truly talk, they found that love had been waiting patiently, hoping to be acknowledged again. They wished they had learned earlier that love is a daily choice, not a lifetime guarantee. A choice to listen instead of dismiss. A choice to appreciate instead of assume. A choice to hold hands even when the heart feels tired. They wished they had paused more often to look at each other the way they once did. To remember not just who they became over the years, but who they were when they first believed in forever. Now, as they sit together in the quiet spaces of their final years, they speak with a softness born from wisdom rather than pain. They know they cannot change the past, but they hope others can learn from it. If they could offer one message to anyone still walking within love, it would be this: do not wait for a time to teach you what tenderness could teach you today. Speak your gratitude. Ask your questions. Hold the person you love a little closer than you think is necessary, because one day you will look back, and the moments you chose to cherish will be the ones that remain. Asterisk.